everyone. Okay, this is the second week of our courses, the data science course. So today we will discuss more detail on the one of the important component in the data science that we call the data sources. And we will discuss more deeply about it and how we gather the data from the sources, and then what the technology and how it's worked and how we need to know about the process on it. So the description about this session is mostly like you will learn about the concept of a big data as source for the data science processes. So like last week, we discussed about the data science concept. We already know that data science will be feeding by a lot of a huge and very variety of the data is very high. So it can be came from the many sources of data. So that's why it's called a big data sources. And then the question is how we can gather the data in the efficient and effective way, yeah, to support the data science needs. And what we want to learn today is about mostly about the perspective first about a big data. Yeah, so we will deeply discuss about big data concept first, and then how we gather the data from the data sources, and then what the consequences and what we need to understand about it, and then what we will have as result that when we has done do the data collection from the big data sources. And I will give you some information about the technology. So it will be answer your question, the last week question about what the tools or technology that you need to prepare for these courses. Yeah, because the course for my session is until the mid-sem, so I will focus not all the data science processes, but mostly is how we prepare the data sets, and the data set will be appropriate for the data science processes. So it is about the how we collect the data, how we prepare and manage the data the raw data into the data set. That very easy. After we have the data set, it will be helpful for data scientists to do the many way of the data science processes with the play with the algorithm, and also play with several method or approach that you need to know. Yeah, so that will be our discussion. Yeah, and I have two material, yeah, for today. The first material will be discussed about mostly about the big data first, and then I have also a case study for you. Yeah, that is the latest. Is my project for the natural disaster big data research. Yeah, so it will be our discussion for today. Yeah, and then and the rest we will have a small activity for you. So hopefully you can follow the agendas for today's, and then so the purpose of the course will be achieved by smooth. Yeah. Okay. So I will share my screen first. Okay, wait. Okay, so the first topic that we want to discuss this morning is about how big data being the foundation or the fundamental of the baseline for the data science. So last week I already discussed with you that if we talk about data science, yeah, it should be we work on top of the big data environment. So it means in the first place we will discuss about the data sources from the big data environment, and then we also collect the data with the big data methods. Yeah, so that will be the main concern of this material. So that's why in the title of this one is big data to data science. In the cloud technology, we call it as big data as a services. Yeah, this is the the good discussion. And then this is very important for us as data scientists to know well about the source of our data, the characteristic of the data, and also how we collect and cater the data in appropriate way. Because if we doesn't we doesn't know about it about this discussion at all, it will be very dangerous for the data scientists to process the data, because to use a good algorithm, the right algorithm, the precise algorithm that solves the problem. So we need to know about the characteristic of data. So yeah, I think this is the one of the weakness of for us. That when I see, for example, your thesis, your friend thesis, yeah, that already doing the examination, for example, mostly is using the data that already prepared in the open data portals like Kaggle or something else. But when we ask the question, do you know the characteristic of the data? Yeah, they already mostly only answer about the type of the data and then what the attribute of data, but doesn't understand about what the source of data, right, and how the data form and then you can collect the data. Yeah, because it's using the well prepared data, and so that's why the algorithm is always run smoothly. Yeah. But when we in the real world, I think we need to understand that the data very very have different characteristics. Sometimes we have challenge because of the source of the data have some limitation, some unique character of the data. So that's why the algorithm that we use in the normal way sometimes it doesn't work for this case. So we need to think, we need to modify the algorithms and then to make more work well, and then etc. So that would be the main concern of why it's very important to do this. And yeah, this is actually this is the job list of the data scientist. The data scientist is responsible also for the good quality of data sets. Yeah. So that's why you need to know about it in a good way. Yeah. So that's why in my laboratory, in the computer system and network laboratory, we focus on this one in this technique, and then and develop the methodologies, and then run some approach how we gather the data in the huge way and then a good way. So that's why maybe in the software engineering and data engineering research lab, we focus on how we analyze the data, but we try to gather and then we will feeding the software engineering and data engineering lab with the good data from us. Yeah. So that's how we work. So that's why this courses, even this is official from RPLD, but actually in the half of semester will be in the SKG way, and then the rest will be in the RPLT way, something like that. Yeah. So that's our collaborations in these courses. Yeah. So that would be one of the important things. Yeah. And yeah, I think I will give you some information. This is our labs. Hopefully, one of you already visit the lab before the pandemic. But if you go to the lab, you will impress, because now we have a network operating center that we have a lot of screen, and then we place all our machine in the monitor, and then we can see the run of big data in the real things. Yeah. So that will be our discussion. And we already have one of our research product that we call the operating system. This is the Box operating system that you can download as open source operating system to have the environment of big data. So that will be the good one. So I recommended you to download this one, and then if you have a free server, you can install there. If not, yeah, just using your virtual box or something, and then install in your virtual machines. Yeah. So that will be this is your common your number one environment tools, yeah, to running the big data. Okay, so I will give you some illustration. So the challenge of data science, of course, will be will be deal with several issues in the real field of community, like say in the farming, in the climate change issue maybe, and then in the in the coffee farming, and then in the fishery, and also in the mining, and also in other else. What we need to do is the question for our discussion today is how we can collect from the source of data that support the farming environments, for example. Yeah, of course, we will think about, let's say, from the drone image, yeah, the sensor that we implant in the plant. We gather the data from the sensor from the water channel, and then the temperature, and then in the the humidity, maybe in the wind speed, and also another things. So it's mean we will deal with a lot of technology that we will help us to do the data acquisitions. Yeah. And the data acquisition is not like one by one data acquisition, but we need to do in the in the same way, in the same time. So that will be the unique challenge of this issue. Yeah. So, and okay, I will skip this one. So, and then what we realize that the source of data, yeah, the source of data is can be from the Internet of Things. Yeah. So that would be the device that work as active devices, and then do some data collection from the environment, let's say temperature, humidity, or other things, and then also do the response. So the response, I mean, is like if the environment change, of course the Internet of Things will be a respond, and then collect the data in the new data, and then send to the server, for example. Yeah, that's the how the work of Internet of Things. And the interesting one is also, this is the Internet of Things is tools. Yeah. So for example, in the manufacturing, we using the Internet of Things to manage the workflow of the manufacturing processes. So that's why in the Internet of Things is very important to us to understand about the tools to collect this information. And of course, we need the cloud, yeah, the cloud infrastructure that will be the hardware, storage, and processing to deliver the data in the stream way, or maybe in the batch way. And we also need the platform, yeah. The platform is like the environment to run the engine, the machine, or the program application that we want to build, and also the software. And the rest, of course, a big data component that consists of data management and data processing, and also data analysis, and also visualization. So that will be between the change. So you can see in here, we have a landscape how we need a lot of technology that support all these components together work as big data environment, and then support and resulted the data set that you will consume for your analysis in data science processes. So that will be the coverage of discussion today. Yeah. So let's go to the big data first. Yeah. So if we talk about big data, so what is the meaning of the big data? It's only collection of data or data set that have the high volume, high velocity, and high variety. But unfortunately, I'm not. I'll disagree with this definition. If we only define the big data is high volume, high velocity, and high variety. But what the most important thing is we collect the information. Yeah, we collect the information from many sources that came from Internet of Things application, and another applications. Yeah. So when we gather the information, we do in the cost-effective way. Yeah, not only just a copy paste, but in the cost-effective way. We're using the high-tech technology, like using script. So maybe, for example, the easy way is scrapping using the Python, for example. So you need to install the Python in your environment, I think. And then several tools in the big data is already exist. I will introduce you several tools, yeah, like Scoop, and then we also have the Scoop, Solar, Flam, and also we also have the ETL extract transform log tools from Pentaho, for example. So it's all this the technology that we need to know about the how we collect the information in the cost effective way, yeah. And then after we collect the information, of course, we need to process the information. So this is the part of the data science. Actually, not only just processing the information, but we try to process and then came out with the insight, yeah, the information insight, or enhance the insight of information. So we try to found the pattern. We will found something that interesting with the data, and we came with the insight. Yeah, insight is something like the knowledge that came from the information, and then based on that information we can decide what our decision, yeah, for our business, for example, or for our organization. And so that's why the second is to make decision making more easy, yeah. If can, you're using the process automation to do that one. So that's why the data science is very close with the artificial intelligence, for example, because our result can be done and then support the artificial intelligence to predict something, for example. Yeah. So that will be the important point of this the definition. So in the conclusion of the big data definition, I would like to push all of you to more concern about how we gather the information in the cost effective, and then this is our part today, and then after that, after you get all the information in the data set, you think about to come up with the insight, and then the insight will be help us to make a decision making, and the decision making will be more easy for process automation. So, yeah, that will be the good definition of the big data today. Yeah, because it's related the big data environment and also the data science. So we combine these two components into one sentence for this scenario. So this is the characteristic of the big data. Yeah. So the big data is always about the volume. So yeah, of course, this is the first assumption. The volume is always about the size. Yeah, the size of data. It can be like a collection of the data that actually each of the data is small data, but when we take together, it becomes huge. It becomes big in the size of the data. The example is like the collection of the Twitter post, the social media collection is mostly is like a big data, and then we also have this one the collection of the data that maybe the number of data is not much as previous one, but maybe we only have 1 or 5 or 10 file, but each file is the size is very big. Yeah. For example, when we go into the oil and gas field, for example, I already do that research. Yeah, we have one data that the size is 733 gigabyte of data, and then we also have 53 terabyte in one file. So that will be the challenge, of course. Yeah. And the next is about the variety, and the variety is the different type and variant of the data. So like file, we already have a many version. Yeah. Image already have a lot of extension, for example. PDF will also have a lot of version, and so that's the challenge for us. Yeah. And then we have also the veracity. Yeah, this is the data that have some special characteristic. Yeah, it can be confidential. It can be another way. Yeah, and then velocity. This is data can be is produced in the real time and that's a way and process. Yeah, and then the value. It can be the data will be have a future value and also can be connected with each other in the very different way. So that's why it's very important to us to understand that our sources will be have this characteristic. So if we understand about it, so it actually is not, we doesn't need to be worried about how to process the data, because we already understand about it. Even we discuss only in 5V, it's volume, variety, veracity, velocity, and value. But actually, in the world, we already have a big V. But in in IEEE, they already have more than 40 V. Yeah? So a lot of definition on it. But at least you keep this 5V. Yeah, because this is most important for you. Yeah, and then this is the source of the data actually. Yeah. So when we deal with the data, the data source of the big data sources, it can be from the package application. Yeah. It can be from custom application, social application, and business analytic application, business intelligence, business process management platform, database platform, security identity platform, data warehouses, e-commerce portal, integration mobile, and also another things. So we have a lot of many type of the data sources that we working on it. Yeah, so that would be the nice one. Yeah, and the next is big data infrastructure. So that will be our discussion. So okay, until this step, do you have any question? Please feel free if you like to ask the question. Okay, no question? Not yet. Okay, already. Okay, we go to the next discussion. We will go to the now we will discuss about what actually the main concern of the big data processes that support the data science processes. You can see in here we have at least four component or four big step on all the process from the big data until the data science. The first big step, I call it the big step because it's not easy, because we have to deal with a lot of things. Yeah, the first is about the data sources. Yeah, we need to handle all these things clearly in the good way. Yeah, we can realize that the data sources can be from the streaming data channel, yeah, or maybe a streaming data, sources, yeah, uh, uh, and etc. Yeah, so that would be our concern in here. So we need to know about the characteristic of how the streaming data works. Yeah, so that will be the point of view. Why it's very important? Yeah, because the streaming data is very unique. Yeah, the streaming data is like uh, So when we discuss about the streaming data, for example, we need we need to understand about the first is what type of the source of data, what the source of the source. Yeah. So let's say we already know that the streaming data can be came from, like, uh, a sensor. Yeah, one sensor. Yes, like, let's say, like, sensor from our smartwatch, and then sensor from the health sensor, from the temperature, or it may be like something else. So you can see that one, the sensor work is like, is triggered by something. Yeah. So the trigger will be came from the some activity that we do in that event, and then the sensor will be catch the data that we have where we see. Yeah. So it's very important. Yeah. So that's very important to know. Uh, Wait for a minute. Yeah, I have some problem with my connection. Okay, okay, sorry, this I have a problem with connection. Okay, so we try to I will try to explain again about the streaming data. So in the streaming data, we focus on the what the tools that being the source of the streaming data. Let's say the sensor. Yeah. So when we have a sensor, the work is the way of the work of the sensor actually is triggered by the event that came close with that sensor, and the sensor will be catch the data from the event that happened in that time. So actually, like a sensor, we collect the data that trigger by the event. Yeah. So our concern is event. So let's say, like, we place a temperature sensor in the room. So we want to control and then to know about the how the temperature of the room. So it's mean we need to understand about what the changing of the temperature in the room, how fast the temperature will be changed, what the trigger the temperature will be changed, and so on. So it will be very important to understand. This is it will be the most important thing to know about the characteristic of the data. So at least we will good enough to know about when the data will be came to our system, to our data collection. Yeah. So that will be the challenge. Yeah. And then it's different if we go to the streaming data from, like, say, a Twitter post, for example. The Twitter post is like it's different. It's also streaming data, but it's different with, like, the way of the sensor. Yeah, this because in the Twitter people will post some posts. So in the post, it means it's reflecting not only event but also the reaction and also the response of some issue. It's not only just event but issue. So that's why it's different. So that would be the challenge actually when we deal with this data sources. And then how about the text data? Let's say in example we work with the source of the web a news portal. Yeah, we have a social news portal. Let's say like the tik.com, Compass, and then maybe other things. Yeah. So if we want to catch the information from there, So it's mean what I want to describe is we need to have a techniques that we can gather the information from the news portal, and then and how we scrap the information from the web in the good way, and then we can classify which information that we need to place in the data sets. Yeah. So that will be the challenge. And also we also have the application data. Yeah, it's more easy because application data mostly using the database management system. So we need to just connect to the databases and then do the ATL way and then insert to our datasets. We also have the time series. Yeah, time series is like actually the same like Twitter post. Yeah, it's also time series because the time series will be in the key of the post. Yeah, so that's why it's very important too. We're using the smartwatch for health, for example. It's also time series because we will capture the data in that moment, in that event, not only just based on the event, but also the time that we trigger the data. And then we also using the source from the geospatial data. Let's say like a weather forecast, and then some of the, it's really like UAV or maybe like flight control using the geospatial data that real time transfer to the plane, and then so that's why the plane know where is the plane now, and then what the most important things. And then we also have a video and image, like we collect data from the YouTube, for example, and then we collect from the video surveillance system, and then we try to collect it. And then we also have the relational is mostly is like in the databases. We can using the ETL way, and that's on the social network. So all the you can see in here a different type of data sources will be need a different approach, yeah, different tools, different methodologies. Yeah. So that's why make when we want to manage okay when we want to do this one, so we need to very clear to know about the data sources. So that's why it's very important to us to to understand about this issue. Yeah. So all the data sources, which is application, shareholder, databases, and project, is need to to flow into the big data platform. Yeah, I'm not called this big data engine because when we discuss about engine, directly our mind will be think about Hadoop or MapReduce. It's not just that, yeah. But I want to bring you that the big data platform is more bigger than that, because in the big data platform, at least there are three main components. Yeah, the first component is information ingest. The information ingest is like the hub, yeah, the data hub that will be collect all the information, and then in the ingest we also have the data governance. Its role, how we will process the data to be a data set. Yeah. So yeah, of course we'll do the cleansing, we will do the annotation, we will do the labeling, and then we do something else. So that's why it's very important to have this one. Actually, the information ingest in the information ingestion is they really know about how we try to make a data clean and then ready to the next processes. And also in the ingestion is we will see that actually the data that will be processed, and then we want to ensure that all the data that came from the data warehouse of the big data storage is already a good quality of data. So it's just like a filter, yeah, as a filter, yeah. That's the cool way, yeah. And then we also have the real-time analytics in here. So this will be the tools that we can push up the data analytic result and insight, and then of course we will have a landing and archive zone that will be formed like warehouses and also data marts. Yeah. And yeah, I think you already know about warehouse. Yeah, data warehouse is like collection of database that will be representing all the database from the specific data sources, but it's managed in one way that called data warehouses. And also we also the data mart. Data mart is collection of data set that already ready to process to use in the data science process. And yeah, that's why in here you can see actually when we discuss about the big data, at least we have a two part there. The first part is from the data source management. Yeah, if we try to specific specific definition, actually it will be in the big data engineering. So this is will be big data engineering side, and this is will be in the big data architecture side actually. And then the next component is we call the advanced analytic or new insight. Actually, this is like this is the main data science processes. So if we only discuss about data science itself, we will discuss only this one. Yes, about the what type of the analysis that we can do in the data science. Yeah. You will learn about the exploration and discovery analytics, yeah, atau analysis. That what we do in exploration and discovery is to answer the question about what do you have, yeah, today, yeah, and then you do the descriptive analysis. Yeah, this is the to answer the question what has happened. Yeah, and then we also have the predictive. Yeah, this is about to answer the question what could happen. Yeah, and then the prescriptive will be answering the question of best outcomes, and then connective is learned dynamically. If we combine all of these, we will have the construction of the artificial intelligence actually. Yeah. So this is will be your main concern in the after the mid-sem, I think. Yeah, so that will be your discussion. But you can see in here actually, yeah, you actually if we realize this flow, we cannot jump. Yeah, if we have a data collection and then that's it, we directly go to the analytic and then we go we can do the data science processes. But we need to follow these processes. So that's why in the first meeting, I always say that data science is mandatory work on the big data. Yeah. So that's why it's very important to understand. If we jump to the data science without any big data, yeah, actually we only do the data analytics. Yeah. So that will be the conclusion actually, and then the rest is actually the application. All this is will be the application that we can use. Yeah, we can build a alert system, automated process, case management, and then analytic application, cloud services, and also the solution for industry. So that will be the new on enhanced application on it. So yeah, if we see in the big picture, actually all this component will be to work together. Yeah, it cannot be independent and then not work together. So it will be difficult to have the good data science that same with our mind, yeah, with our discussion. So yeah, this is important for you to understand about how we do this one. So that's why in my use case, I will explain to you by example about how we collect the data. I will more focus today on this side first, and then we go to this. Yeah, and then yeah, of course, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning will be more easy to to implement if we understand about it. So actually, in the AI, machine learning, deep learning, it will be part of this section. Yeah, the advanced analytics. Yeah, machine learning, deep learning, and another learning algorithms. Yeah. So this is the this is the what I call it application that we can use for data science. Yeah. In healthcare, we can you do the tumor detection. Agricultural, we can see the plant analytics, and oil and gas, we can analyze the oil and gas trap in the earth. We do the speech interfaces for automotive industries, and then document classification to identify the fraud in the document, for example, and also using the genomic, in bioinformatics to sequence analysis. Yeah. So in the rest is actually what we want to do is we can increase income, effective education, reduce congestions, improve safety, and then adjust supply and demand, and do the reduction of damage and harm in terms of how we use the data science to solve this many problems. So that will be the challenge for you, yeah, for this discussion. So back, I will explain more deeply in this part after this. If you have any question for this part, please give your question.